Now welcome to Emilak Online tutorial. Now let's look at this question. Now a ship sails 110 km from a port P on a bearing of 0.35 degree and then 116 km on a bearing of 105 degree to another port Q. Calculate A, the distance PQ. Now the bearing of PQ from P. Now this is a wire question. Now first of all, let us have a pictorial diagram of the question. Now, a ship sails from port P, so let us assume that this is P. Okay, now it sails from here on a bearing. Now let us assume this is our bearing. Now okay, it is below 45, so here you have it, 0.35 degree and 110 km. All right, so now this also under point and 116 km on a bearing. Now from here we start again. Take note, we always start from the north clockwise,ly sorry. So from here we have it, assume to this side, and 106. Okay, now 106, which is a bit longer than this, so let us draw it this way. Okay, so and to another point, port Q. All right, so another port Q, and this is the port Q. Now the distance, now this is from port P to another, then to another port Q. Okay, this is Q. All right, so from this end here we have this is our distance here. Okay, so this is another point. Okay, all right, so to this end now, from P now on a bearing of, and then to on a bearing of to another port. Oh, sorry, here this should be our Q here. All right, so to this end, now take note that this is 105, right? On now, so here we are looking for the distance PQ. All right, let us assume this is R. Okay, so to this end, now let us now find the angle here. Now here is 116 km. Now let us find the angle here. Take note, this is a straight line, a right angle triangle, which is 90 degree. So 90 minus 35, this will give us 55. So here is 55. All right, so take note, this line here, this angle is adjacent to this angle, so here will also be 35 degree. Now this end, look at this straight line here, you will see that from here to here is 105. So 180 minus 105, and this is because this is a straight line and part of that straight line is 105, so the remaining part here will give us what, 75. And this is a straight line because, so an angle on a straight line is what, 180. So to this end, the angle here will now give us 110. Okay, which is the angle at R. Now the question now is, what is the distance of PQ? So let us assume that this is our small r, now this is our small p, and this is our small q. All right, so we'll be using the cosine rule. So to this end, we can say r square equals p square plus q square minus 2pq cos big R. Okay, and let us plug in the parameters. So our r here square, our p is 116 raised to the power 2 plus our q 110 raised to the power 2 minus 2 times 116 times 110, then cos 110 degree. Okay, now we have to all multiply, evaluate all this expression here, so for us to get our value. So here we have it. Now 116 square is the value, 110 square, here's the value, and the product of 2 and 116 and 110 is this, and the value of cos 110 is this. Take note that cosine 110 is in the second quadrant, which make it what? Negative. Now adding up this, now this is 13,456 plus 12,100. Now this will give us 25,556. Then this minus will multiply this minus, give us plus. So here you have 25520 times 0.3420. Here you have 8,727.84, and when you add it up to 25556, so we arrive at 34,283.84. Alright, to this end, now our r will now be the square root of 34,283.84. I refuse to include the positive negative here because length cannot be negative. So here we have the square root of our answer here will then give us 185 points, approximately 2 kilometers. Alright, the value of that is 105.2 kilometers. Alright, to this extent, now we've gotten here to be 105.2 kilometers. Now the next question says the bearing of Q from P. So the bearing of Q from P. So we need to look at from this angle of the north to this part where the line from Q meets Q. So first of all, we need to find the value here. Alright, so let us make this P degree. Okay, so to this end, you can see here that here's the angle we are looking at. So we can make use of sine rule, and by sine rule you can say P all over sine P equals we've established this, so we can say R all over sine R. Okay, to this end, our P here is 106. Okay, let me write it here so that to save space. 106 all over sine P is what we're looking for. Then equals our R here is 105 approximately. Let us just round it up to the next one number. Then sine R here will now be sine 110 degree. Now let us cross multiply. By cross multiplying, sine P will multiply through 118 and sine 110 will multiply through 116. So to this end we have 116 in times sine 110, then equals to sine P. Alright, let's just cross multiply here. You have what? 185. Alright, now finding the values of the left hand side, we have, so here you have that. So the product of sine 110 will give us 0.9397, and the product of 106 and that will give us, so here you have sine P equals 109.0 all over 185. Now, and when we divide through, here we have 0.5892. And when we find the inverse sine, you have 0.5892. So the inverse sine of this will give us 36.1 degree. Now to this end, it implies that the whole of this is 36.1 degree. Definitely means that this line here is meant to be within this range here. Okay, all right. So at that end, the bearing of Q from P, which is from here, from the north here down to the line here, so will now be, so bearing of Q from P will now be 35 degree plus 36.1, and this should give us plus 35, that will be 71.1 degree. Alright, this is the final answer. If you love what I've just done, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and ensure you click on the notification button to be notified of all my videos in physics and mathematics. Thank you and God bless you.